what EO Scott be doing? Should do a little kip up. Bro, oh my God. That just actually made my head hurt. We are oh so here. Ladies and gentlemen, what's goody? It's your boy, Oh So Co. You can also call me OSK. Either or either is going to convey the same way. And ladies and gentlemen, we're going on the street. Because I figured that since I already did NBA Rage Bait, and I did NFL Rage Bait, I might as well just end it off with WWE Rage Bait. If you've seen the previous two videos, not too much talking, but I'll give you all a quick rundown. Rage Bait, very common amongst the internet and the community, consists of certain topics or statements that are made in order to essentially make a certain group or fan base mad. It's not really a lot of basis with the arguments that are made here. 9 times out of 10, they're saying it to rile you up. So if you hear Rage Bait, turn the other cheek. Okay, simple. And if it's not Rage Bait, just hit them with the Michael Jordan. Brother, get some help. I figured that since we live in the world of the internet, I could easily go find 10 Rage Bait topics that I wanted to go over with you all related to WWE. And I'm going to go through these with you all. I really like this episode because WWE is one of those products that has a significant amount of rage bait, because you can quite literally make any wrestler's fan base mad by saying the most simplest of things. For example, those who are Jey Uso fans. Well, buddy, he can't wrestle quite literally anybody on earth. Okay, that's simply rage bait. He's a good wrestler. He's just not Gunther. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not this world-renowned wrestler with his technical prowess. But why all of a sudden we got to start hating on him? Why? Because he's not the champion you wanted, but he's over. And I'll actually get to that here later on in the video. But before I dive into the 10 rage baits of WWE, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave some comments down below of what you want to see next, of course, but also hit that bell notification. That's going to be absolutely huge. Just definitely want to see you all come back here. We are still on the road to 100, so hopefully we can hit that pretty soon. But other than that, I'm not going to waste too much of you all's time. I know I have these long-winded intros, so let's get into it. Numero uno, number 1, era stands. Now, this is pretty broad. I was going to initially say attitude era stands because I feel like people who will come to someone like, say, myself, or someone who grew up in the PG era or the ruthless aggression era, goodness gracious, learn how to talk, they'll say, well, the attitude era was that much better. It was more violent, it was more real, it was this and that. I just want to say, okay, I dare anybody, okay, who watches the current product to go back and watch an entire 3-month cycle of the Attitude Era. And please tell me from top to bottom that it's an enjoyable watching experience. Buddy, it was main event heavy and that was it. And you're lying if you say otherwise. You're actually lying. Women's wrestling was in the garbage. We're not finna sit here and talk about how degrading that was, right? And then the undercard was non-existent. The mid-card didn't get good until the WCW shifted over. But then 2001, a lot of people consider a dud. So are you telling me the only time that from top to bottom the product was good was 2000? Is that your golden egg? Like, are we serious? Okay, but then you also have the Ruthless Aggression stands who are like, well, the Ruthless Aggression saw the spawn of Batista, Randy Orton, John Cena. Granted, those are all talented wrestlers. Nobody's arguing that. But a similar argument could be made about women's wrestling. Wasn't that good? Okay. And then we're looking at people like JBL being the top stars. It was like 2003 to 2006 was also almost as bad when it comes to entire watchability. And then you have PG era. Honestly, if you defend the PG era, you were probably a child, okay? Because it was goofy. Simply put it took the edge away. But don't get me started on the quality of those matches. All right. I would argue that the current era that we're in from top to bottom is at its best when it comes to not only storyline, but also like quality of matches. But I'm not going to sit here and do that, okay? I'm just pointing out that era stands specifically are rage baiting because they only tell you that this era is better than this era to piss you off. Quite literally. It's all good wrestling. all things considered. It's just that you want to sit here and come at somebody else for their preference. You know it's going to make them mad because they hold near and dear to their heart their favorite era. Number 2, Jinder Mahal defenders. Now, this isn't as common, okay? But it's still noted to be rage bait. If anybody's defending Jinder Mahal as WWE champion, brother, come on, are we serious? What? Okay, name me 2 good matches. Two, not one. Name me 1 good match, okay? I think 2 is being too harsh on you. 1 good match, 1 good promo, and 1 good moment. Please, enlighten me. I'll even give you time. Let's see. I got 4:12 on my clock. About 4:13. I want to see that in the comment section. So at this point in time, timestamp it. We'll get back to it. Number 3. Unnecessary Hulk Hogan glaze. This is very specific, but it is 100% rage bait. We can acknowledge all day the greatness of Hulk Hogan. We can, right? He contributed so much to the product. We would not be here if it wasn't for Hulk Hogan. That is stating obvious. I'm not mad at that. But when we're going out of our way to defend Hulk Hogan, 1 as a human being and 2 as a wrestler, I think we crossed the line. Contribution alone, I don't care. We could speak on it as much as we want to. I'm not bothered by it. To defend what Hulk Hogan did and does off camera is completely out of line, right? You're doing that on purpose. You are rage baiting. You are simply stating these opinions, which aren't even the opinions that you believe. And if they are opinions that you believe, brother, I got some questions for you. You probably aren't here to like my video. You're probably ready to click on that dislike button, if you get what I'm saying. Also, wrestling ability. Nobody really defends Hulk Hogan's wrestling ability, but it is a little bit too much glaze for the golden era when it comes to like, oh man, well the golden era was this and that and the third. No, bro. Hogan wasn't a bright spot. He was just over. He was just over. He wasn't a good wrestler though. Go back and watch his best matches. And then compare his best match to John Cena's best matches and see what we get. Speaking of John Cena, number 4. Even though it's like this, whatever. John Cena haters. I put in parentheses here though. Grown men. Okay. To hate on John Cena as much as some of you all do is kind of insane, bro. Like, John Cena was carrying WWE for a long time. And I hate to say it, but can we stop acting like there was somebody else that wasn't like what I'm trying to say is who else between I'm gonna say 2007 to 2010 who was on the same level as a Cena who wasn't getting pushed? What are we talking about? Like, and what I mean is like, are we saying John didn't deserve it? Are we saying he didn't work hard enough to get that? Like, bro was unnecessarily healthy for the most part. You know, of course I know he had the knee injury in 2004, and then he also, hurt himself in 2007. But like in the sense of like he's always coming out there on a weekly basis putting on matches, right? And a lot of those times those matches were really good. Y'all just didn't like him because he was a little too cheesy for your Attitude Era adjusted mind, or you didn't like him because your favorite wrestler wasn't John Cena and he was being pushed. I grew up on Cena, okay? I'm not sitting here saying that John Cena was Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels by any means in the ring, but to absolutely hate and try to bury this man the way y'all did. Number 5, tribalistic fans. This is going to be my first time bringing any other company into this video, into my videos. Technically, all right. There is essentially a big 4. You got WWE, you got AEW, you got New Japan Pro Wrestling, and TNA. I'm mentioning this because for the casual fans who don't watch a ton of wrestling, who are here for my content in general, those are the big 4 wrestling companies, okay? There's this thing called tribalism. Now, that's not just a wrestling term, but it is very common in wrestling. Tribalistic fans are easily rage baiting when it comes to any of their discussions. You can enjoy one company over the other. I'm quick to say I'm a WWE fan above all else. I literally don't watch much of any other wrestling. I'll catch some AEW here every now and then, TNA when they do the stuff with NXT. But I'm the last person to speak on quality of wrestling because I am a WWE fan. I will acknowledge that most of my life it wasn't the best when it comes to in-ring work. But I have that attachment. And it did get better. You stuck with it for the long game. But I cannot fathom how annoying it is to make a comment about WWE and have somebody from AEW telling you why you're wrong or why their product's better. Conversely, those who say that AEW is in the trash and dying and is WCW 2.0, that is the purest definition of rage bait. Because WCW died a terrible death. What are we talking about? TNA, New Japan, they don't get as much of it, but I think you see more of the New Japan versus WWE stuff as well. Excuse me. When it comes to in-ring work, all in all, I think Tribalistic fans are, without a shadow of a doubt, just rage baiting for the sake of rage baiting. Number 6. This one right here, bro. I actually got to take my hat off for a second. Because I can't stress enough how frustrating this is. Anyone who says that WWE was better under Vince McMahon, but that specific sentence, that WWE was better under Vince, you can, okay, I will only give grace if you say Attitude Era is better than now, or I guess Ruthless Aggression, right? But, and that kind of goes to the era stands, but what the point I'm making is, people who say this spin it into a more recent facet, right? Because there are people out here saying, well, in 2020 and 2021, black wrestlers were booked better under Vince McMahon. Oh, when Austin, look at what Austin Theory was doing. Oh, what's her name was going to get a push? What's his name was going to get a push under Vince? Triple H just ruining it all. TKO this. It's Vince McMahon. That pisses me off. What are we talking about? What are we actually talking about? Are we finna sit here and defend Vince McMahon? He is the bottom of the barrel, a trash human being. It doesn't matter what you thought of the product 2 or 3 years ago. We don't want this man back running the company. And even when he did, let's stop acting like we didn't have WWE Day 1 2000 or 20. Day 1 2022. Number 7. I'm gonna cool down. Chris Benoit Glaze. I'm not gonna touch on this too much. It's very annoying how many people defend Chris Benoit as a worker. I feel like my problem, again, I know I said I'm not gonna spend a lot of time. Oh my goodness, I stutter a lot. But it's just like, can we not bring him in every discussion about wrestling? You feel me? I've talked about him in videos in relation to the video, but he's nowhere near my Mount Rushmore. He's nowhere near my top 10, 20, 50. He won't ever be. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. Number 8. This one is a little more personal, near and dear to my heart. Bianca Belair haters. This is kind of opposite to the Hulk Hogan glaze. Why do we hate Bianca? Why? Is she not talented? Bianca always puts on a banger. And she has a great personality. She's a good mic worker. Goodness gracious. Great in ring. And I feel like she's also like an icon. She's a star. You feel me? She appeals to like the young girls. I feel like they really gravitate to her. Want to be like her, the Brave Whip. Like, she's a star. She's a full package of a women's wrestler. And I really don't understand this narrative of not liking her. What is it? The look? Is it the in-ring work? Is she too uber athletic? Like, genuinely. Okay, because I know, like, when you talk about technical prowess, a lot of people may go to an Io Sky, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, come on, like, she's strong like Rhea, she's athletic like an Io, so I don't get, what does she do bad, I guess? Or why do we hate her? Number 9, over wrestler haters. Now, this kind of similar to Bianca, but I want to kind of emphasize it a little bit more here. I'll give some examples. If a wrestler's over and you're just not on board, because of your opinion, there's no need to throw it into the next guy's face. Jey Uso is example number one. Very much over. Going to a live show, seeing Jey Uso, nobody even talks about this. We went to Bad Blood in 2024. It was during the Bayley and Nia Jax match. And Jey Uso popped up, and the crowd just started yeeting. He had nothing to do with the event, and he had nothing to do with that match. I think even Bayley acknowledged him. But I mean, fast forward, him winning the Rumble, people are just disliking the video. This was a bad decision. This was a bad match. I'm gonna be real. I love the story that they told with him versus Gunther. Not like the actual story leading up. I mean, like the in ring at WrestleMania. He stole all his moves. Oh, that was so clever. But like, I just don't get it. Jey Uso, Dominic being over, and people saying, well, he's not that talented. LA Knight, Joe Hendry. Like, I know he's not signed to WWE contractually, but like, these are just a few names where it's like, why are we discrediting them and trying to throw into the next person's face that this wrestler isn't good? That's the definition of rage bait. You're trying to tell me that I shouldn't be cheering for Jey Uso because you don't think he's good in the ring. I'm enjoying the product. I'm happy. And number 10. Maybe I shouldn't end on this note, but I have to. Anyone who claims that fired wrestlers should have been fired. Oh, they weren't using Dakota Kai. She could have got cut. Oh, Shayna Baszler wasn't being pushed. She could have got cut. Cora Jade this. Braun Strowman that. It's like, these people lost their jobs though. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that with malicious intent they lost their jobs, but I'm simply saying that it's almost as if we're emphasizing that they deserve it. No? You feel me? Like, it's not like they were underperforming. I'm sure there are probably a couple of people in the batch that maybe weren't performing up to their standard and potential. And what I mean by that is like, perhaps the expectation was for them to do this and they were just simply not on board with any of it. They were against creative 100%. They were pushing back. They were going out there being lazy. Their coworkers didn't find them fun to work with. But from what I've been seeing, that last batch of releases, most if not everyone that was discussed was heavily missed by their coworkers. It seems like, Dakota Kai's of the world were working hard to get that main event push. Like, it just, I don't know, it's disheartening in my opinion to say that. And I think it is rage bait because I don't think anybody with a good conscience is actually out here saying that these people deserve to lose their job. So I'm gonna just end it off on that. Yeah, those are my 10 though. Let me know what y'all think. I definitely wanted to hit on these because I feel like WWE was an important one to touch on. If y'all like more of these videos, let me know. I can definitely do some hot takes one of these days, maybe some cold takes. I don't know how that work. Or just read through some opinions that you all may have and showcase them in a video. But thank you all for joining in and listening today. It has been an absolute pleasure having this discussion with you all. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. As always, don't let anyone discourage you from greatness. My name is Oso Ko, and we are Oh So Out.